All right, I'm still in first place. So my buddy Kyle Brady. What's up, Kyle? Is this it? No, this isn't it. Where were we at? We're on Facebook. Kyle Brady. What's up? Par 4. I have no idea. Obviously the shortest route. Let's just look at what the short route looks like and see where we can get with distance. So here's your tee box. I mean, obviously it's a par 4. Can you get in front of this arc? So if there's a ball out there that'll get you to the next fairway platform, then the distance that you can gain is monstrous. So I mean, if we can get over to this side right here, I always like ways up. If you're on a par 4, the whole deal is to get up there and get on the fairway area, and you've got a better chance of getting on the fairway area when you never run out of it. But sometimes you can get like a second bounce rough bump to move yourself up there. So I don't know if we can get in front of that line. Let's go check it out. Practicing. What was I looking at? I was looking at meteorite gems. Extra mile. Titan. Let's take a, I'm going to switch up. I'm going to switch up because I'm practicing. I'm going to switch up, and I'm going to bench my Grizzly for a bit. Let's think about my Saturn numbers. I'll write those down at the top of my notes. Saturn. And it is 66 accurate. All right. All right. 1.9 per ring. I haven't been having the success that I want with my Grizzly, even though it's up there. I just haven't been having the success that I want with it, and it's a newer club, so I'm hoping that when I get it to level 9, something will change in it. I don't know. It's 100% accurate, but it plays different than 100%. I know if you're using the notebook, it probably plays it like 105 or 110. It plays it more accurate than what it should be. But I'm going to switch that up in all of my bags because I'm practicing. And the Saturn's a great club. If you've got lower developed clubs, then you get your Saturn up. Your Saturn is a great practice club. Any of the commons are great. That's why everybody likes a Sniper, because it's a great utility club when it gets up to like level 8 or 9. All right, so my options here are Apocalypse or Extra Mile. And I'm going to bring out my Guardian on some holes, so if I bring out my Apocalypse just in play, I really need them. I want to make sure I got a big topper bag. All right, let's go out and play. Let's go check these holes out. I shot a beginning video, and I'm going to shoot them just one hole at a time, and then I'm going to stop it so I've got some video of these holes on record, so if I need to go back and do these holes, I know I have shot some since they're already brand new. If I don't play today, it's Wednesday. I won't be able to shoot get any more opportunities on these holes, and just play at the beginning of the week. It's the guy. I got a last minute invitation to the tournament, so I'm gonna try and qualify. I haven't been paying attention. Been chilling out, working. What is the deal? There we go. Let's see what my opponent does. Let's watch our opponent. Yeah, they've got a Katana, 2 power ball, extra mile 8. The first thing you want to look for on any of these par 4s is how do I get on a 1. That's the only thing you're worried about. There are some par 4s in this game that you can't get on a 1. And if you're on one of those holes, you have to find the best spot for the clubs that you have. But there's a hill right in front of you. You don't have to get that much farther and you can roll down that hill. So, I mean, if you've got, I don't know what it'll take to get up there, but you just got to get to the other side of that. So I'm assuming, let's see if we brought out... Let's bring out a power 5 ball and see if we can get over there. We could. Let's see what we can get done with the Titan. We'll just do a max shot. See if that's enough wind to carry us over there. Hit it 2 rings great on the inside. And that was the side that I hit it great on, so that's not surprising to end up in the sand there. I didn't do any actually in the field wind adjustments there, just trying to get an idea of what it would look like flying down. Bigger ball, you could definitely get over. You're on, or you could get up there. You could at least advance to that next fairway, and then that gives you a whole bunch of options for your second bounce. Now my opponent got in a pretty good spot if they wouldn't have ended up in the rough, but even with the Nirvana from right there, they weren't that far off. You actually have to take a little bit off the shot. So that means if you're taking a little bit off the shot with a Katana, it's better to bring out a more accurate club. You got more maneuverability. That's why we want to rock. That's why we've got a quarterback. So this might be my bag number 2 if I was in that area. I got my Spitfire, so I'm in pretty good shape. Where am I at in my club? There's max. And there's mid. So I'm close to mid. Let's see how much I can get the ball around. I can't. I'm going to use that backboard and see if I can get up there. Hit it perfect. And I hit it great. 2 rings great. It clipped the rough. I didn't do any extra wind adjustment there. I just did a max club adjustment. All right. What's the goal on these par 4s? Your goal is to get an eagle. I mean, what you want is to get an eagle, but your goal is to get a birdie. In the hole. All right. That was not the goal, but we could get up there with a power 5 ball. So we now know coming to this hole in the opening round that it's definitely worth bringing out a power 5 ball and starting that process, and we can save ourselves 1 power 5 ball. If you've got lots of balls, man, when you're on these holes like this, it's best to just eck every time you get on them. That's why when you're playing higher up, you're bringing out a good ball every time. The whole deal about one-on-one is trying to get more club cards. So, and I don't think that if you're playing up until you get to like maybe tour 9, you're not really playing with anything special, but you can play it. You can still, especially with Titans, you can still play with Titans quite a bit on the holes that need to be played with Titans. But a lot of times you can get stuff done with the Katana. It's amazing how many holes that you can go out there and play with your accurate stuff in a Katana. And you've got a lot of options with the Katana because it's got more side spin, even though it doesn't have the power. That side spin, I mean, you know how it is. That's the deal. I'm going to play all these holes, and then I'll break this video up. Okay, there's my red line, so I got to give myself a little bit of room, but I'm at minimum sniper. It's like a 1 1/4 ring. And that's downhill, so I'm gonna do a 2-6 pull. Minimum club. There's 2-6. That was right on the edge. Can't tell anything about where you're at down there if you don't hit it perfect into the cup, but you can sometimes, not in every hole, but on a lot of these holes you can at least get a read on distance. And you want to come in there where it's rolling out towards the cup. All right, that was hole number 1. Hole number 2. Da 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 da. Hole number 2. I am not ready. Let's go check out hole number 2. Hole number 2. I'm back on the meteorite. Why? I keep pushing the wrong one. Where's my Facebook at? Hole number 2, par 3. Grizzly. I'm taking a Saturn. I have no idea. So we're just going to go out there and play it. I'm going to turn a bunch of this stuff off. So I will quit opening it. Had a bunch of stuff going on there. I was checking out meteorites. I've been watching this guy that shoots videos on how to grind opals. Okay, there's Sniper, there's Min Club. So with a bigger ball, I can come out with a Saturn, and I've got Max Club. To 4.5, there's 3.8. That leaves me 8. And I'm at the wrong angle, so I'm going to pull it at a slight angle to try and make up for it. Hitting it perfect. Came in a little hot. My trajectory was off a little bit to the right, so I can go back. You can, if you record your own video, you can go back and watch, and you can see what adjustment you made, and you can do the reverse math. So if you use the wind ring method, you can go back and you can learn from your stuff. But if you're just eyeballing it, it's hard to do it because you got to find landmarks. That's kind of how Tommy used to play when he first started, because he didn't like the wind ring method. He did landmark stuff. He would go down there and he was filming his own gameplay. So he was able to do the reverse math and find out where he was supposed to be, like where he started and like how many rings he moved. And he'd get a feel for that. But by having some kind of numbers that you use for them. I need to go down and change. I need to actually change all my numbers, and I need to go. There's some clubs that in the past, they're more accurate now, and they're actually playing different than they used to play. Like I used to be very successful with my Hornet on perfect shots, and they've changed with the wind and the elevation stuff and the which way the wind blows on how it's carrying your ball. It's not all about elevation. I know I use that term and everybody uses that term, but it's not really all about elevation. Birdie. All right, just making some notes. It's a draw. Hopefully we'll get, I mean, I want to pick up something in a practice round just so that you can get the stuff in, but it's not what's really important. In most of these tournaments, if you shoot the minimum score, you're going to qualify. And then it's about, you've got to look at how many of those par fours are like you have to get an eagle. And that'll tell you like where it's going to be towards the qualifying round, as far as like, you know, you're probably going to need some tournaments, depending on where you're bracketed, you'll need to pick up at least that hole or one of the other holes to make up for it. But you don't really want to ever think about making up for something. If there's a give me hole like that, you've got to get it. All right. Where are we? What are you doing, dude? Nice on. What are my options here? I do have a rough bump. And that's a narrow rough bump. But you got a full ring. Hey, get where I can see you, damn it. Three. And that seems... I didn't find out where I was at in my club. I don't want to pull too far off. I'll have to go back and look at that. I don't think I added on. I didn't add on anything, and it was definitely downhill. I don't know which hole that is. That's the problem, is I don't know what the holes are, so I know that I should be doing an adjustment. I didn't find out where I was at in my club. All right. But I got the birdie that I was looking for on the hole itself. Give me a break. All right, hole 3, Phantom Mansion. Here we roll. Hole number 3. All right, I have no idea. What is this? This is a par 5. I have no idea which way I can go because I don't know where I'm at in my arc. So here's the tee box. And I mean, as long as that looks, I mean, here's the tee box right here. I mean, is your arc like right here, or can you actually get to the center fairway? These two fairways look like they're out of range. So you're using them as landing pads. There's a couple of shots here that might be rough bumps where you could actually scoot out and end up gaining some distance instead of trying to make it around the bend. Depends on what club you can bring. So wherever your red line's at, this might be a good big topper hole to try and get down into this hole. I always like the shots that go this direction better. I think that's because I play right-handed, and so the deal is when you're pulling it back in a max overpower and you're pulling it back into this corner, it's on that hand, so you're right there, as opposed to having to pull it over to the other side where you're crossing your hand over in front of you. So I'm not sure that that's why, but these shots always seem like they flow better. So if you can get out into this area right here using a club that's got lots of side spin, or a ball that's got lots of side spin, a club that's got lots of curl. So I'm not sure where our line is out here, so we'll have to go check it out. So I've got 3 different bags I can take. Well, 4, because I have the APOC in there. So if I need a distance, and I've hardly ever used that APOC because I literally haven't even had an APOC. I've had an APOC for a little over a year, and until right before Christmas, it was level 1. And then somewhere before Christmas, they did the club card trading, and the week before that, they buffed a bunch of clubs. But when they started doing the club card trading, I got my APOC up to level 4 like really quick, but I still didn't use it. It was pretty comparable to I had an Extra Mile 9. But now it's at level 5, and so it's got more distance, and it's got a ton more curl, and it's more accurate. It just doesn't have as much ball guide. So that is not something to disqualify it. because the Extra Mile didn't have a lot of ball guide for a lot of its life, so that's not it's not the end of the world. So I've got a bunch of bags, but if I take that Apocalypse bag, I've got a Guardian in there, and this is definitely going to be a second shot into the cup. But hopefully we can get down into my Saturn range, and I need to start playing by the numbers and look at the notes here. So what? I got hole number 3. Hole number 3. Da 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 da. We're just gonna go play. What I should do is just go play. I've got the bags. I don't even need to look at the holes. We're gonna find out when we get down there, and just play them. It is kind of nice to look at the pictures, though. Thank you, Kyle. My buddy Kyle Brady posted those on Facebook, on the Kings of Golf channel. Okay, my opponent's got a white ball, and they can make it to that. But it looks like it's a long ways, and if you're trying to go through the center, unless you could do a rough bump out of the center, if you could get out there in the center far enough that you could end up doing a rough bump and roll out. This side might be too far away. You might have to get out into this area right here, and you could rough bump it and get out, and where it just stop it right there, and you could pick up a ton of distance. If you can get into your short iron range, that's the deal. If you're on a hole like this and you can get into your short iron range, now you're talking money. So they overshot that, but look at how close that fairway right there looks. Let's see how far we can get out there. The wind's blowing a little bit that direction. Hit it 1 ring. 1.5 rings great to the left. So with not all of the top spin, I could have made it out on that line. So I'll have to go back and look at see what line I came through, pan back out so that I can go back and kind of draw a line there. The question is whether or not I can recover from that distance. So if you've got the recovery clubs, so if a Nirvana or a Spitfire can get up there, and those two clubs hit very similar distance. I'm all about distance on those, on rough irons and sand wedges. It's nice to have a Malibu in your bag. It's nice to have an accurate club for when you're close up, but I'm usually not trying to use my recovery clubs, or I have just as good a chance with my Spitfire and my Nirvana because I can run topspin out on them, and there are shots that you can do with them. They are great recovery clubs, and they work in the middle. They work when you're in this position, my position. So they're the club that can save you. I got a shot. There's Max. I'm at about mid club. I'm about 4 per ring. Let's see if that ball guide's lying. It's 4 per ring, so there's 2, there's 3. There's 3, 2, and there's 3, 2. I'm gonna play a little less. Hit a 1 ring great to the right. And the ball guide was not lying. And I was so you got plenty of club there if you're in your rough iron. So as a backup club, what you could carry, since you know that is an area that you could end up in, is you could switch out And you could change your Nirvana for a club that's got better topspin and do that rough bump. Great topspin and ball guide. And I'd start with topspin if you have choices. This is why it's so important to upgrade your clubs and keep your clubs upgraded so that you're working on. I especially see people that, and it may be accounts that they haven't played and they just had cards that were in there when it first started, but people that were like trying to decide what club to upgrade and they hadn't upgraded all of their commons. And I suppose that was that could be a smart thing to do. If you it's too late to do it now, but that could be a smart thing to do, is to keep your commons not on there. So if you've got some rares, you can work down to your rares and empty them out a little bit, so you don't have to. That'll give you more opportunities in the club card trading. Opponent's got a sniper. 10. Using a common ball. 3-2 headwind. It's a lot of green to cover to be bouncing that far back. This is one of those greens that if with as much distance as he bounced on the green, can we get up to the green? We can. Where's Max Club? There's Max. Got mid club. Two, 3. There's 2-2, a little. No, and short. And it had a little teeny bit of suck back, but it stopped pretty close. And so then you can work. That was with the last bounce that I could see right at the cup, right before the cup. And so you can work between that bounce and the bounce behind it and work out your spot towards the cup. So the next time I take that shot, I'll take a swing at the fences and I'll put the second bounce in there and I'll set and then if that's too far, then I'll split the difference and I'll keep working and I'll do the clock game and I'll work it towards the cup. But I need to get some of this stuff on video because I will go back and watch my own videos when I'm actually playing. I will go back and watch my own videos. I'm just dinking around. Just taking a little bit of time off. It's like we have to have seasons, so I'm taking the summer off. All right, let's go look at the next hole. All right, what hole are we on? What is this hole? This is the par. Hole number 4. Hole number 4, par 3. All right, I'm going to take a sniper. I'll switch to a nav when I'm out there. I like to go back and watch those holes when I have no idea and I don't know which hole it is. I've got notes for par 3s, but I have no idea which one of the par 3s that hole is. So then I'll be able to look at the video where I actually see what the hole looks like. So my opponent has a big dog and some special ball. I saw a lot of those balls. What are those? Power 3 spin, Power 3 wind, Power 5 back spin. Now, if this is the hole that we just played, it is the hole we just played. So that means that I used the Guardian because I wanted to get way up towards the cup. So my opponent's trying to, he brought out a big backspin ball and then he didn't utilize the backspin. So in that situation, and he didn't use any of the side spin, so one side spin, but he could have used a Kingmaker if he wanted the same effect for a lot cheaper. Okay, I'm gonna go right at it, max backspin, no side spin. And I'm gonna put that second bounce. Man, doesn't that look like it's too far? I'm gonna split the difference. And I'm gonna do 4 mile per hour ring. It's 1, 2, 3, 3, 3. Half of it's about that much. What a douchebag. And look at the distance there. That was like where it ended up. If that would have been on the perfect track, that was about right as far as like trying to work it towards the cup. You're not going to be able to tell until I hit that perfect, like whether I need to move it so that I'm in between the halfway between the two rings. Or if I need to push it forward a little bit. That hole might be doable. And I will tell you, if you go back and watch my videos at the very beginning, when we play brand new holes, I play a lot of backspin shots on these par 3s because the whole deal is the first time I go through, I really just want to make sure that I can secure an eagle or a birdie, excuse me. Get in the hole. Get in the hole. Birdie. What a D-bag. And we know he's a D-bag, so let's shut him up, and then we know that he's over there on my shot emoji spamming me. And we don't have to watch it. So they're wasting their time. Which hole is this? So it's not that hole. And the other two par 3s, you know, plus 15 on one. That's a long rough bump. Not that you can't do it from there, but that's a long rough bump. I'm in my Guardian range. I've got a little bit, so I'm going to pull forward. %, would be 2.3. Let's do 2.8. Let's really tick them off. My timing is off to the right, so I'm going to start hitting from the right so that I can get my timing right. Oops. That's what you get. In your face. All right, that was hole number 4. Hole number 5, Phantom Mansion. Thanks for watching. All right. What is this? Hole number 5, par 4. I've got extra mile, Titan. Now I went and watched. I've got some bass notes from my buddy Hammer and Hank because he's been playing these holes. So I went and just got some bass notes because I haven't played all week. I didn't shoot anything. I shot a few holes. If you've watched up to this point, you know what I've done. Yeah, and I shot a series, so you can go back and watch the beginning of this and just watch all the holes through. This is my first time through most of these holes, the first time I've seen them. But I've been told that there's a max overpower hook shot that you can take on. It's got to be, if we draw, I can't scroll out any more than that. There we go. Here's our tee box. Now there could be 2. But this side right here affords you a little bit. So if you're trying to get out into this area and you're trying to cut this angle, so are you bouncing here and then trying to dribble down and do a rough bump to get onto the green? I don't know what it looks like from this side, because you could do a rough bump. You got a lot bigger area with a lot less other stuff to get caught up in, and you can roll down this hill and just get out onto this fairway. Because really a win here is if you can get anywhere on this fairway. I mean, if you can get here anywhere, you're in a winning spot. Because it definitely looks like it's downhill from up here. So if you're hitting into this area, you've got a big downhill shot. If you can get below that hill and down here where it's flat, that's a much better deal. And you've got a big fairway over here in this quadrant. You've got sand here in front on this side. So if you could get over this sand and come at it from this angle, but you've got to contend with this sand that's right here on the right hand side. Whereas over here you've got a bigger landing area. So it might be a viable deal to come from here over if you were taking a shot. This might be the regular shot on this side. You might be able, this would probably be if you were just doing a normal shot of your regular shot. But with a max overpower hook shot, you're going to have to get your trajectory right. Let's clear that off so we can start over. If you're doing a max overpower hook shot and you're coming in from this side, you're trying to get as far out here as you can, because you'd have to, if you think about where you're at in topspin, if your landing zone is here or out in this area right here, to take this shot to try and come down and bleed out into this area. Now you may want to stop up here if you don't have the clubs for it or the ball for it. But if you can get down to this fairway and pick up as much downhill as you can, you're on the flat, and that's you get a much higher percentage shot. And you've got an opportunity because you can use the terrain to help you. But if you were doing a max overpower hook shot from this side, if you could get your trajectory right, you've got a bigger area to try and work yourself through with less obstructions. You got a small window down here. But I'm going to try the max overpower hook shot if there is one, because we always want to try a max overpower hook shot. You will definitely gain. There's quite a few holes in this game that I can think of where a max overpower hook shot is the shot. So you can take an extra mile. I could take an apocalypse. I've got options. All of these clubs will work for this shot. I'm going to take my Guardian just in case I get in some spot down there. I can get myself out of it with my Guardian. Back in the day, this was the only bag that I carried. This was it. And so I'm just going to start this. I mean, when did I start using a Spitfire? The day I got a Spitfire. It said 119 or something on there, and distance in the middle is all important. Distance with these bottom clubs is super important. And with this club right here, in my opinion, it's all about ball guide and accuracy and topspin. And topspin's super important because look at those numbers when people talk about the Endbringer being better. I know that people have success with Endbringers, don't get me wrong, but I'm still trying to figure out, other than power, and I usually don't find that to be a problem, but you can at some levels. That's pretty stout, and the top row can change. But this was my bag that I used when I played one-on-one. I should just go out there and play one-on-one, but I want to at least get shots of all the holes because I haven't played them all. So I know it's taken a long time. I'm just playing them. I'm not even really paying too much of attention. I'm just out having fun. Hole 5, par 4. Hole 5. It seems like if you're doing a max overpower hook shot, you'd want to, if you want to miss, you'd have more room to miss on the left on this sand, because then you're out in the rough. And this is a much better shot to take with a rough iron than a sand wedge. But a sand wedge, if you get caught up, obviously you want to get caught up in the sand in the last one, because that's the rough area you're trying to get to. See where my opponent got. Okay, they easily could have got to that fairway to the left. They easily could have got there if they'd had their trajectory right. Are we talking about trying to get on? Are we trying? Yeah, maybe. I have no idea where that'll end up. That's as far as I can get. There's one. A tree that's out there. And then I'm going to take the wind out so it's not a variable. There's 4-2. And I got all of that. I was on the left-hand side of the fairway. So more curl would get me around, but I'm not going to be able to get out much more distance that direction than my opponent can hit straight forward. And getting out into this fairway right here, if that's as far as we can get, it's either going to have to be, I'll have to look at that shot again, because if it's just about laying it up there at the top, we could probably bring out accurate stuff and just lay it up there on the top. All right. We're in the sand, and we have the perfect club for this. Plenty of distance. There's max. There's mid. Couple rings of separation. I'm gonna put on just a little bit of topspin. I'd rather be short in this round and not end up in the rough and dropping a shot. So I'm in the mid ring, so there's 4. I'm gonna over pull just a bit. Hit it like 1 ring great to the right. Maybe 2. Close. No cigar. Gotta hit those shots perfect. I always feel like if I hit a shot with my Nirvana and my Spitfire perfect, it has a serious chance of going in the hole. So I definitely know my numbers on. And whether my numbers are right based off of what anybody else says, I'll tell you that I've played my Nirvana and my Spitfire, like a lot of us, I've played it a lot. And in the very beginning when you have, what am I doing? In the very beginning when you have really crappy clubs, it took me a long time either to develop the clubs to have the mentality, or the mentality and then I got better clubs. But bringing out your accurate stuff as often as you possibly can. When I play one-on-one, I play with my rocket, and I play before I got my rock. Before I played with my rock, I played a lot with my quarterback, where I just went out and played with my quarterback or the big topper. You can get a lot of stuff done with a big topper. All right. All these par 3s are way the hell downhill. There's a rough bump here, and I did that rough bump last time, and I didn't pull off enough wind. Now I'm going to do it again with a headwind. And this is a due headwind, so I'm not sure what kind of wind we're actually getting in the tournament, but it seems like we were getting a headwind even in the tournament. I could be wrong. Perfecto. Could bring a backspin club and get in front of that rough and just backspin it right to the cup. Let's see if that works. No. And this club doesn't have enough topspin to get me over there. Yeah. I played mid before, so that's 1-1, so that's 3-3. I'm going to do a little bit over. Should turn my grid on. Getting it perfect. Let's see if I hit it short again. No, that hit it right. Still a little fat though, I think. So I was counting that at, well, and I counted the rings wrong. I was counting at a max club. So it was 1-1 with 20%, and it looked like I hit, I'll have to go back and watch. It looked like I hit fat in that, but I'll have to go back and watch it. I'll watch the one before that I shot earlier in this set where I shot that hole. All right, that was hole number 5, Phantom Mansion. Thanks for watching. Hole number 6, Phantom Mansion. Let's go check out hole number 6. Hole number 6. Da-da-da-da. What is hole number 6? Hole number 6 is a par 5. Now, I will tell you, it seems like I got this hole. This is the one of the, I got 2 of the par 5s like 4 times, and so it must have been this one and hole number 9. And I tried a max overpower hook shot here with where the tee box is. So here's the tee box. I tried to, you're going in this direction, and I used this landing area out here, and I was trying to get around the corner to get down into here. And I think I finally got the shot worked out, but I can't remember what it was, and I've got it recorded, but I'm just going to shoot it. But I think I ended up with a big topper trying to make it around this sharp of a corner. So, I mean, you're coming out in this direction. Hey, don't switch on me there. Coming out in this direction, and then trying to make this swing. So this is a pretty tight corner. But it didn't take all my topspin on my big topper. I actually rolled out here. And it seemed like it was still a pretty difficult angle going down. But I would suppose if you were shooting to this side, you're probably trying to land up in this area and then come out at there. It looks like if you've got it on this angle, there is a rough bump that you can tee here. If you can get the angle right out here, it might be better here in this landing zone to be farther to the, start off farther to the left so that you can get a straighter in. You can get this shot right here where you're further out on the tip, and you may have to bring out a ball that has more side spin. Because you may have to, if you want to get the perfect shot, put on some right-hand side spin. Or you can try and get into this area and come at it through the throat. This rough bump shot is probably not a bad deal, because I don't know that you could pick up a lot more distance out here. I'm going to try the straightforward shot, because I think all I did during the practice session was do the max overpower hook shot, and you can get out into this area. I did. But it seemed to me that the shot going in was pretty difficult. I could be wrong. I probably am. But I'm just going to bring out an accurate club and just try and get out into this tip and just find out what the easy way, see what the angles look like. So I'm just going to bring my number 2 bag. Number dos. Let's open up a chest. Let's get some rolling. I want to miss out on a chest. I think the next one's got to be a gold. I think I probably already missed. No, I probably didn't miss out on a chest. Maybe I did. I think I won at least. I don't think I had any chests on there, so I won at least 4. But I did. I might have lost the chest from not opening them up, not paying attention up to this point. What kind of deal is that? What's funny about this is I have all of my stuff. I have it all set up. And I just need to get back into the groove. I appreciate everybody who listens to the channel. If you've listened up to this point and you've listened to everything, I appreciate it. Just burned out with the whole deal. If you live here in the United States with all the stuff that's going on, it's just crazy. Just know if you live outside the country and you listen to us Americans, or you're on a team that has a bunch of Americans, we're not all idiots. Ghosts flying through the air. Let's take a Titan. We're going to go straight forward. If you're trying to do that rough bump, that would be the side to be on, but I've got a Saturn. So 3.7. I want to see what that fairway can do for me. Hit it 2 rings great to the right. Try and open up this fairway a little bit. Now, if I wanted to do the rough bump, I made it harder on myself because now I'm out of here on the tip, and I really got to have some side spin. And from where my opponent's out there they're in this part of the rough. I like the ones that are in the front of the sand, although they are dangerous. These ones right here where you can pick up a little bit more in the way the wind's blowing. If the wind's blowing, if you're getting a due tailwind or a due headwind and you're on that kind of flat, then it really doesn't matter. Whenever the wind is blowing with the rough, it's not a bad deal. And we've got a wind that's blowing. And the thing there is if you bring a super accurate club, or you bring a club where the rings fit in it right, you might be able to work that wind out without having to take it out of the rough. So even if you didn't pull it right, you're still going to hit the rough. And that's probably the most important part of a rough bump, is hitting the rough. But that is a long, nice shot. Well played. Nice shot. Give him a clap. Nice. Nice, baby. We can get that done. Where are we at? There's Max Guardian. There's Man. Definitely be better if you wanted to run it in, to bring that club that's got lots of ball guide. Three, 5, there's 3-3, there's 3-5. Move it a little over. I'm way the hell downhill. Hit it 1 ring great to the right. Even hitting from the right to the left, I'm still hitting it 1 ring great to the right. And that'd have been close on a perfect. But that would have been better to have better ball guide. Good luck. Nice shot. Definitely lost that one. All right, that was hole number 7. Phantom Mansion. Hole number... Oh, excuse me, that was hole number 6. What was I thinking? Now we're on hole number 7. Let's go check it out. Hole number 7. Let's put a marker here so I can see what freaking hole I'm on. Hole number 7. All right, this par 3, we've gotten this par 3 several times. I think there's a rough bump here. I'm going to bring out my calculator for this. I do have some numbers for this hole. I'm going to bring a Titan because I'm practicing today. Which bag do I got? I got my Guardian bag. I'm going to bring a sniper bag. The whole deal is when you first start playing, you save your Titans for the week. You save your Titans for the tournament. You suck it up, buttercup, just like all the rest of us, and you save your Titans for the tournament. So in the tournament, you can go out there and you can play a lot of these holes with a par 3 ball. Par 4s and the par 5s, and you can help your clubs out. When you get on the par 3s, most of the par 3s, you can play with a lower developed ball. or a lower power ball. All right, I go with my Saturn, and I am right at max club. I got a headwind. So Guardian will be better on this as your backup club, where you'd have to bring out a bigger ball. Hold on a second. Let me switch to a Marlin ball. Right now I'm on the other side of it. I can move out as much wind as I want. Four, 7. And I'm going to move it a little more. Getting it perfect. I had to snap that off. Was trying to think about how many rings I wanted to move so I can go back and laugh at myself. I think I did a straight pull there and I should have added on a bunch of wind. I should have moved like a whole nother ring. I ended up way short because of where you're bouncing on this hill. So it's affecting the height of your trajectory. So if you don't make a big enough, it's making the ball go higher up in the air instead of more forward. And then when it comes down, it's got a bigger trajectory, so the ball's bouncing at higher. So that means each distance gets shorter quickly. The distance between each bounce. That's no bueno. That's the brown stuff. Where is the brown stuff? Hitting it perfect in the hole. So if we have headwind, we can definitely bring out a 0 power ball and be able to get in front of it with a sniper. I'll have to go back and watch that video to see exactly what adjustments I put on it, and you can kind of tell like what level sniper has that capability. The Oregon Mob. In the hole. Nice shot. Birdie. It's a draw. Let's check out the Oregon Mob. I'm from Oregon. I go first. There's a rough bump here, but you got to have a lot of topspin, and I have a 0 power ball, and I can't get there, so you'd have to bring out a bigger club or a bigger ball so that you could get further back on it. There's 3-6, and I'm at a slight wrong angle, so I'm pulling it at the right angle. Hitting it perfect. Just a little bit short. I'll go back and watch these, and I'll actually sit and do the math and see what numbers I used. My notes say to use a sniper in 20%, but I don't think I did 20% on that. See if my opponent can get in the hole. El Perfecto. So hopefully they set it up right. We can go back and watch theirs. They're in the same boat. Close. 1.76. We were close. 1.07. That was very nice. Good luck in the tournament. I ran into some people. I was in a gas station down at the bottom of the hill where I live, and I met some people. They were in there talking one day about it. I didn't, and I asked them, and they were like, "Yeah, I go. You watch anybody's videos?" And they listed, of course, Tommy, and the guy that runs the gas station goes, "Hey, you listen to a guy named Adat?" And they're like, "Yeah, we've watched some of his videos." All right, that was Phantom Mansion, hole number 7. Hole number 8. Da 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 da. All right, let's get on it. Let's go look at the hole first. Hole number 8 is a par 4. My notes say extra mile Titan plus 20%. This is a par 4. And we got one hole after that. All right. And I really like to come at it from this direction right here. I really like to come at it like this and come down through this neck and avoid all this sand and try not, not the bounce thing, but try and get through that neck. And there's a great, that's a great view of a max overpower hook shot from here. You got to be able to get with a bigger power ball. You could probably, if you could get around this bend into this hollow right here, you're trying to get, I don't know where your arc is out here, where your arc's at. Obviously, the farther forward you can get, the less curl you have to have on your club. So if you've got a club that's got a lot of curl on it, if you can only get out to here, you're going to have to cover this distance. This is big. That's a big angle. You're going to need a club like a rock or a Big Topper. Big Topper works great. So I'm just going to take a bag. I'm going to switch to, because of the way that this shot is, I am going to practice this particular one with the Kingmaker. Let's open up a chest. Clear out a slot. Getting some commons. Hey, I've got my club card trading I can do. I don't think I picked a club today. Maxed club cards. 300 quarterbacks. Let's see what today's options are. Nirvana Off-Roader. I'm doing the Off-Roader every time I get it. It's one of the few epics that I'm like, when I get that one, I'm investing cards in it. I want to get my Off-Roader maxed out. It'll take forever and a day, but it's one of the ones that sometimes you have, you're in a spot where I've actually been trying to clear out, like down in Wonder, and trying to get rid of some of those cards, even though I'm never going to use that card. I'm trying to just get it out of the loop. So actually, that is the one card that every time it comes up, I have been choosing it, unless there's an epic that's better. We're just going to go play it. I have no idea what it looks like out there. I can't believe there isn't a max overpower hook shot on this one, but we might be able to just get over there. I have no idea. Who's your caddy? I go first. I always like when my opponent goes first during tournaments. It doesn't really make any difference, but you can get over to that pad. There's got to be a max overpower hook shot you can do here. Let's try. Let's see where I can get out there with my Big Topper. All right, let's really look at it. I didn't catch it all. It slipped off. Overshot it into the rough up at the top. See how far away I was. With a bigger power ball, if I'd have caught all of that, I was way fat on it. And I didn't take the wind out. And I had plenty of room to come in on it. But I don't know where I would have ended up if I'd have caught all of the hook. So I know from that spot right there, if I catch all the hook, I can make it. So I think the next time I go through there, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to continue to put on max topspin until I get the angle right, and then see if I'm overshooting it. And sometimes you get to a point where you're so far to the right that you can't go any farther. So at that point, you have to start cutting back on the topspin and find the spot, because you're just trying to pick up distance and you're trying to be on the same level. Because see, this is almost, if you can get down into this area, you're on the same level, so you don't have as much drop in elevation. Here's max, about mid. It's 4 per ring. I'm downhill. I'm going to do a full ring adjustment. So that'd be like 20%. Getting it perfect. We're going to find out how close I was. Get in the hole. Not quite enough. I did a 20% on there, and that wasn't quite enough. Close. But the farther down there you can get, the less of that drop you're going to have. So if you can get down here in the front on this tier, it's almost tiered over there. If you can get down to the next tier, it might not be a 20%, it might only be a 10. It's hard to work out exactly what your numbers are going to be until you find out where you can get. That's one of the funny things about numbers, is if somebody's giving you elevation numbers, it's from where they're landing as the numbers they're working on. So my opponent was in a different spot than me, so they're going to have a different number even if they're using the same club and the same equipment. If it was elevation. And sometimes it is elevation, and sometimes it's just it's because of the direction of the wind. Daniel's turn. All right. I'm gonna shoot. I shot this all as one, and I'm gonna post it all as one, and then I'm gonna break it up so I can make an actual playlist just for these holes. Because this is the first time I've shot all these holes for the tournament. I caught 2 of the par 5s and a par 3 in practice, and the rest of these holes I haven't played at all. So there's a lot of holes on here. It seems like we can get up there and pick up some shots. Some of these par 3s are definitely makeable. A lot of times on these par 3s on new holes, I'm all about trying to figure out because you got to think strategically too if you're getting these holes in one-on-one, and I don't know where they're going to leave these holes in one-on-one. But if you get these holes in one-on-one, being able to get the shots so that you can just get up there on the green using backspin and not dealing with all of these changes. The closer you can get to the cup, the better. And I want to start off really close to it. I got a sniper in this bag. I'm right at minimum club, and they're going to forfeit. Good luck in the tournament. Thanks for the win. Working our way. Looks like we're getting close to -10. We're at -10, so all we got to do is play some holes. -11's up there, so a lot of -11. So minimum score should be -12. So we shouldn't have any problem qualifying with a minimum score. That was hole number 8, Phantom Mansion. Hole number 9. Thanks for watching. Hole number 9. Da-da-da-da. I have no freaking clue. Where's the tee box? Let's draw the straightest line. Okay, the straightest line to the green is this way. But if you're coming in from this angle, let's blow that picture up. If you're coming in at it from this angle right here, like if we could get out into this fairway or wherever we can get out here, if we're coming at it from this angle, we've got a rough bump that we can do up there. Otherwise, we're going to have to work it around or use a backboard to do something. So unless you're trying to get up into the spot where you can do this rough bump right here, and that might be the shot. If you're trying to get up through this and trying to run it up to the cup, you need to get out here to the end, or you need to get down into that fairway. Then you've lowered the elevation, and you probably dropped. If you can get into a short iron range, you're always better off. I'm gonna bring I'm just gonna bring a bag. I'm just gonna play with whatever I got. I have options, but I'm gonna start off with an extra mile. APOC. I should be using that. I should be practicing with that APOC. And the APOC's more. There are some of these shots coming in with the Guardian is not bad. I'm gonna switch to a sniper. And I think it's at 1.5 per ring. 1.5. Don't have as much ball guide though. Save it, Jimmy. Since the last hole, I'm going to start that gold. Get it rolling. So when I get on next time, I got it. Hole number 9. Here we roll. Light a cigarette, get something to drink. I'm supposed to be doing a plus 10% on the drive and a plus 30% to the cup. Let's see what we can get done with a Titan in the qualifying rounds, and I can go back and watch these videos. I think it's obviously, because I shoot content for golf class, obviously watching other people's stuff, you can learn stuff from other people, especially if you're new. I have a lot of viewers that started off new and they're, have learned how to play and had gone, I'm like grade school and they've gone on to high school and college. I'm like a junior college coach. I can get you to the point. See if you can get into the pros. My deal is I'm really good about trying to figure out how to get the minimum score and then trying to expand on that. And there's some content that's out there where they're really trying to focus on trying to get you to the cup. But that only works if you're hitting to the same spot they're hitting. Man, that angle over there looks rough. It's a max OP shot. I am going to switch to, I got a Kingmaker. Hey, I'm going to switch to bag number 1. It's because I got more topspin. This actually might not be a bad shot for a big topper. I'm going to leave the wind on and see if I overshoot it. Hitting it perfect. Whoa, down, Cat Daddy. Man, if the wind was any higher than 2-2, I was pretty close up there at the top. I had a little bit of distance, but it's going a little bit downhill, so it'll get, if the wind's higher, it'll push it even farther out. So, and that was a long ways out there, so I probably don't need all that topspin. So you could probably compensate for it. If you had an APOC 5, you could try your APOC 5. It's got less topspin, but it's got a little bit more power. And see what that looked like as just a straight up shot with a power 3 ball. You could conversely drop down to, if this shot right here had the rim, you could switch to a Katana. Save yourself a bigger ball. That was close. right, I'm going to do a 30% wind adjustment. Where am I at my club? There's max. There's min. So what about mid club? Times 1.9. I'm going to move it about a ring. Get one ring great to the left. Just a little bit to the left. I'll have to go back and look and see what my adjustment was on that. I have to go back and see what I did for math. I was at mid club. .95. Still not sure that math came out right. I'm sitting here looking at my calculator. I did, it was a 1.3 mile an hour wind. Winner, winner. I definitely got to go back and watch that. All right. That was hole number 9. That was just, let's see what's at the top. -13 at the top. See where they picked one up. They picked up hole number 8. They picked up that par 4. So I think all 3 of the par 4s had great opportunities to get eagles. And if I can work on those par 3s, the par 5s had some stuff too. There were some really good shots there with the par 5s. I'll have to go back and watch the videos to see the bag that I used on some of them. I used the Guardian and see what it looked like coming into the cup. Interesting round. I will watch the videos. If you watch these videos and you just go back when you're watching the video and look at my numbers and figure out on the ones that I hit perfect, it doesn't do any good to do it on anything that's not perfect. Unless I do on all of them because I'm double checking my math. Like, hey, I hit it great, but it looked like it was way far great. So what did I actually use? Did I actually use the numbers that were on my sheet? And that'll at least tell me like, hey, that's where I should have ended up if I hit it great. But really, the only thing you can gain from that is distance. Not a bad round. Not a bad round. Let's check out mashed taters. 4,200 games. Well, they with that kind of score, I can't believe that they don't have any top 10s. So if they can shoot that score in the weekend round, picking up one shot on new holes, one shot on each side, 26, 27. The competition level that we have out there is people will pick up on these holes pretty quick. And so there'll be a lot of high scores on this. I can see it. All right, that was the Phantom Mansion. Just a blind qualifying round. Thanks for watching. And good luck in the tournament.